All right, shalom, shalom. I want to first and foremost start by giving infinite praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Kadash. Like they say, shalom, Washem Kabad, got a Walla Rakab, Zaquayim now, Wahashala Yakim now, which of course is double honors to our elders and our apostle, Great Millstone, and shalom, Wabarakim, Labakarim, Shaw Yasha Allah, which is peace and blessings unto the elect. I'm the brother Dawud Da from the DC Church, back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. And as you can see on the screen, there's just an article that a brother actually sent on the chat, and it's entitled 8 Ways America's Legal System Punishes People Who Are Poor. All right. And this is just another reason, it just made me think, man, this is just another reason why this place has to utterly be destroyed. OK, because, in a righteous world, in a a world that was governed, by someone who is righteous. All right. You would help the poor, man. You would help those that are in need, okay? But in this world, in this age, in this rulership, in Esau's rulership, they come up with ways systematically, all right? And they do things craftily to continuously oppress the poor, man, okay? And these are some of those ways right here. Now, number one, it says money bail. All right, and I'll read a little bit of it. It says, we currently have 2 justice systems, one for the rich and another for everybody else. For hundreds of thousands of arrestees every year, the difference between freedom and jail depends solely on wealth status. A wealthy person can buy their pre-trial freedom, keep their job, and live at home while preparing their defense. An arrestee who is poor must stay in jail for days, weeks, months, or years until their case resolves. Those detained prior to trial are most likely to lose their job, get evicted from their homes, and be unable to care for dependent relatives. The money bail system does nothing to promote liberty, public safety, or court appearance rates. All of these goals can be better achieved through other means, and needless pre-trial detention actually increases crime rates. They bail is a price tag on freedom that only serves as wealth-based discrimination. And it just shows you, man, that, they don't really give a damn, about serving justice. They really all just about their money. Esau, his system is all about the money. Okay. And they said, doing these things don't actually decrease crime. It actually promotes, crime at a higher rate. All right. And guess what? They're going to make even more money off of those crimes that are being done. OK, they're going to make even more money by locking Jake up. OK, and holding them in these cells, man. So this is really what it's about, man. It's a wealth-based society, man. This is a commonwealth-based economy. OK. And if you don't have it, the poor, those are the ones who are basically, being oppressed, the ones who are basically in trouble in this society. All right. Now, I said verse 2. The second thing that continuously oppresses the poor is private bail companies. All right. Private bail companies. And I'm going to just run through some of these, The other thing is suspended driver's licenses. It says in 38 states, an individual can lose their driver's license if they cannot afford to pay their court debt. Even for minor offenses like littering that have nothing to do with traffic safety, a valid driver's license is the single most important factor in getting and maintaining a job. Residents with suspended licenses are even further burdened by not being able to fulfill daily responsibilities like taking care of kids, making doctor's appointments, getting to the grocery store, and commuting to work. Okay, and if you can't drive, how are you going to get to work, man? How are you going to feed your children? Okay, now this is another crafty thing that they put, and I know this because, in the state of Virginia, I know for a fact that if you don't pay your auto insurance, if you don't have insurance on your car, they will suspend your driver's license. And what happens is your auto agency calls the DMV, tell them that you're uninsured, and what they do is they suspend your driver's license, and then you got to pay a fee of $100 and something just to get it back, man. Just to get it back. So, I mean, like it's mentioning in this article, I can fully attest to that because, back during the time where I didn't have it like that, I was struggling, because of my license, man. Because of my license and, not being able to pay all of those debts off, man. So, I mean, this is just another way that they craftily oppress the poor, all right? That they put these things in place to keep, Jake primarily at the bottom, all right? Now, another one, it says excessive mandatory minimum sentences. And I'm going to read a little bit of this one, too. It says proactive police practices, such as stop and frisk and broken window policies, disproportionately target minority and low-income neighborhoods. All right, and we all know who fits within that margin, within that group. It's you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. All right, when they say minority and low-income neighborhoods, you already know who they talking about. All right, they talking about you Jakes, man. Okay. It says whether it is a vindictive federal prosecution of a rural Native American family using medical and guess look who else is talking about. You so-called Native Americans. All right, showing you that we're the same people, man. All right, Jeremiah 50 and 33, man. We're being oppressed together. Okay. It says prosecution of a rural Native American family using medical marijuana or state prosecution of an amount of marijuana that is legal within the city limits, mandatory minimum punishments for victimless crimes are disproportionately directed at people living in poverty, all right? Such individuals are easy targets for overzealous prosecutors unable to afford legal counsel and aware of the catastrophic results of getting fired. People experiencing poverty lack the tools to effectively fight back. When someone is in prison for years or decades because of a victimless crime, the entire community suffers from the loss of a parent, sibling, coworker, or employee. Okay? So all of this because Esau puts these petty laws in place, all right, these crafty laws in place to keep you Jakes at the bottom, and you got a lot of Jake that talk about you mean to tell me that we're still not slaves, to these devils, man? All right, you mean to tell me that we're not being oppressed? Now, you got some Jakes out there that, talk about equal opportunity and everybody, has a chance to make it in America. They're sold by that American dream, but they don't understand, all right, that there's things put in place systematically, all right, and craftily to keep you down, all right, to keep you in a state of poverty, okay, and they use that to their advantage. Now, another way, it says wealth-based banishment that outlaws low-income housing, okay? Private probation abuses, all right? Parking tickets or debtors, parking tickets to debtors' prison, okay? Now, let me read a little bit of this one. It says, across the country, thousands of people are unconstitutionally jailed simply for being poor. States pile on fines and fees, even when it is clear that the person is simply too poor to pay. The Supreme Court has repeatedly held that someone cannot be punished for being poor. If a person genuinely cannot pay a debt to the state, then the state must find an alternate solution, such as community service, a payment plan, or reduction in the fine itself. Nevertheless, many states ignore long-standing constitutional precedent and jail people for fines if they cannot pay, resulting in modern debtors' prison. Okay? And it's sickening, man, because I know here in D.C., if you get a fine and, there's a certain amount of time that goes by that you haven't paid that fine, guess what they do? They're going to double that fine, all right? So that fine, and this actually happened to me one time, okay? This actually happened to me one time. I believe the ticket was about, I think I got a ticket for maybe like $50 or something like that. Then they doubled that. And I remember it was like $150 and then $150 to $300, $300 to $600. Next thing you know, the ticket's like $1,000, all from like a mere parking ticket, man, And this is how they try to in-depth you, man. And they try to keep the poor oppressed, okay? And now you literally got people going to jail over damn parking tickets, over fines, man. This is ridiculous. But this is the society we live in, man. This is Esau's domain. So you gotta expect these unjust things to be precedent. Okay. Now it says the collateral damage to employment, childcare, or education makes debtors' prison a tremendous and unconstitutional barrier to climbing out of the cycle of poverty. Man. Straight up sickening, man. Straight up sickening. Okay? The craftiness that the gall that these devils have, man, to put these things in place to keep the poor oppressed. It's just straight up sickening, man. And this is why the wicked must be taken out of the way. All right? Now, another one, it says sex offense registration laws. Okay? And, that's basically it. I mean, Lord's will, I could put this in the description box, the water to the brother who sent this on the chat, if the brother's watching. But I'm going to go ahead and bring out some precepts, all right, just to, land back off of that, all right. Now, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 21 and verse 8. It says, he that buildeth his house on other men's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial. Okay, and this is exactly what Esau is doing, man. He's building his house. He's building his wealth on the backs of the ones that are in poverty of this society, man. All right, and he's continually oppressing the poor. All right, to continuously build, off of their backs. Okay, but he doesn't know that he's only gathering the stones for his own tomb, man, for his own burial. Okay, because when the Lord comes back, the Lord is going to take him out of the way. All right. The scriptures talk about how the Lord, how the physician is going to cut off the long disease. Okay. And he that today is a king, tomorrow shall die. All right. And that's you Edomites, man, you devils. All right. For all the craftiness, for all the wickedness that you have put in place. All right. You must be taken out of the way, man. Okay. So now let me grab another one. This is the book of Sirach. Let me scroll all the way back to the 4th chapter and verse 1. It says, my son, defraud not the poor of his living, and make not the needy eyes to wait long. Make not an hungry soul sorrowful, neither provoke a man in his distress. Add not more trouble to a heart that is vexed. It says, and defer not to give to him that is in need. Reject not the supplication of the afflicted, neither turn away thy face from the poor man. Okay. It says, verse 5, and this is really getting into the point right here. Turn not away thine eye from the needy, and give him none occasion to curse thee. For if he curse thee in the bitterness of his soul, his prayer shall be heard of him that made him. And that's really the point right there, man, because we're constantly being oppressed. Okay. Now, who's the poor? That's not saying, brothers is poor, brothers out on the street begging for coins. No, brothers are making a decent living, but nevertheless, compared to, the riches that Esau has gotten in his society. All right. And compared to, the scale of where he is versus our people. All right. We're considered the poor, man. we're considered the poor of this society. All right. So the scriptures say that what? If we curse, if we curse our enemies in the bitterness of our soul, man, our prayers are going to be heard of the Most High, man. Okay, it's going to be heard of him that made him, okay, that made us, all right, which is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Hey, and this is why we constantly see that this society is going down, because brothers are constantly putting up prayers, okay, and curses, all right, on Babylon the Great, on Esau, on all of our enemies, the heathen, okay, for the Lord to destroy them, man, and rightfully so, man. Okay, because there's just more and more being brought to light on why Esau needs to be put to death, man. Okay, now it says verse 5, I'm gonna read it again. Turn not away thine eye from the needy, and give him none occasion to curse thee. For if he curse thee in the bitterness of his soul, his prayer shall be heard of him that made him. Get thyself the love of the congregation, and bow thy head to great men. All right, and this is, this is how a righteous king, a righteous man is supposed to be, man. Okay, you're supposed to get you the love of the congregation. That's not saying, to defraud the ways of the Lord, or to, defer from the ways of the Lord for a congregation. That's just to say, when you're a righteous person, when you conduct yourself in that likewise manner, all right, you tend to get the love of the congregation. Hey, just think about how Yahweh Shai, got the love of many, okay, by him being a righteous man, all right? So now let me get another one. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, and I'm going to start at verse 16. 29, and Salakia, I'm going to start at 7. I'm actually jumping around in this chapter a little bit. Verse 7, Proverbs 29 and 7, it says, the righteous considereth the cause of the poor, but the wicked regarded not to know it. Okay? And that's right, man. The wicked, they don't regard to know it. Matter of fact, not only do they not regard to know it in this society, they actually do know it, all right? And they continuously oppress the poor, man. Okay? They don't try to mitigate the problem, okay? They actually try to go for the furtherance of the poor being oppressed. Okay. Now, verse 14, it says, the king that faithfully judges the poor, his throne shall be established forever. and what king is that, man? All right. Because we don't see that in this society. All right. Esau is the total opposite of that, man. He continuously oppresses the poor. So that shows you, man, that his society is going to be temporary. His kingdom, his throne is going to be temporary, man. All right. And now Yahweh Shai's kingdom, the elect's kingdom, that's going to be forever. Okay. Because, hey, there's certain laws that we have in place to, benefits the poor. All right. And those laws are going to be upheld in the kingdom of heaven. All right. And nevertheless, all of our people are going to be in good case. Okay, so now let me skip to verse 16. It says, when the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth, but the righteous shall see their fall. Okay. So when the wicked are multiplied, and that's what we see in the earth, Esau is, bearing rulership of the whole earth. All right. Bearing rulership of currency. Okay. Of everything monetary in this society. Esau basically has the ultimate upper hand on it, okay? And this is why everything is basically, why transgression is increased. But the righteous, we're going to see their fall, man. We're suddenly going to see the fall of the wicked, okay? And that is coming very, very soon, all right? Now, let me grab, the book of, let me go back one chapter. Go back one chapter, Salakia. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 28, and I'll start at verse 8. It says, he that by usury and unjust gain increaseth his substance, he shall gather it for him that will pity the poor. Okay, so he's going to gather it. Hey, Esau has all of the gold, all right, all of the silver, okay, all these precious stones locked up in these storehouses. He's only gathering it, for him that's going to pity the poor, man, because guess what? All of that, is going to be in our possession, all right? As is written in the book of Obadiah, we're going to possess their possessions, okay? All the gold, all the silver, all right, all the commodities of this world are going to be given into the hands of the children of Israel, man. All right. Now let me jump around in the book of Proverbs, the 22nd chapter. All right, there's a verse that I was looking for that I wanted to get in the 22nd chapter. Man, that's Satan, man. Salaki. Let me just go to the blue letter. A little bit easier to navigate. This is Proverbs chapter 22, and I'll read verse 22. It says, "Rob not the poor because he is poor, neither oppress the afflicted at the gate." And that's what Esau does, man. He takes advantage of the poor, and he continuously robs the poor, puts laws in place, crafty laws in place, to where he can continuously rob the poor just because they poor, man. Showing you the devil that he is. All right. And there's another one that I wanted to get in Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 16, because that same poor man, that could be the one, to save the city, man. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 16. "Then said I, wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard." All right. And that's right, man. A lot of our, people walk by and despise the words that we speak just because we're not of some type of social status in this society. All right. But that true status, or that true glory, all right, is going to be given to us in the kingdom of heaven. Okay. In the kingdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Hey, so with that, I hope this was edifying unto the elect. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Until next time, I'd like to say Shalom.